Hey everyone, so in for another video again. Not going to do anything too crazy. It's going to be a little short video just because I haven't done necessarily a whole bunch the past 2 weeks to add to this. I have been doing a little bit of Leetcode, relatively speaking, simple-ish stuff. So I know for one thing that I did was to-sum, which I guess they don't have that. We'll do this one first since this one is up, and then we'll go to to-sum so that way you can actually see what it's asking me to do. But so Roman to integer, self-explanatory. Roman numerals to an integer value. This is just a switch statement and then if else's. I didn't necessarily do anything too complicated with this. There may have been a cleaner way to do this, maybe, I guess, potentially, other than the way I did it. But, like, for example, the way I handled it was for, like, obviously you think of things like, so 4 is IV. The way I handled that was if there is an I in the letter that it's iterating on, then it'll check the next letter. And if within the next letter there's a V, then it'll do answer plus equals 4. Otherwise, it'll also check to see if it's X, and if it's X, obviously IX is equal to 9, so it'll check for 9. And then if it's neither of these two, then it'll do 1. It essentially does that same pattern for all the way up to 1,000, which is M. So nothing too complicated there. My solution was one of the faster solutions, as well as it had like 60. So I don't know if that's a glitch in their thing or if that actually goes in 0 milliseconds, but it said 100% faster than the other people's solutions, and it also gave me 6 megabits of memory, which I thought that limited amount of memory was decent. The only other way I could think maybe to eliminate the memory is if there's a way to do it without having to do an int I, maybe somehow, and iterate through from, like, do like a from begin to end of it somehow, or something like that. Or maybe even just iterate on the values. Actually, that would, I don't know if there's a peak method or something like that, but maybe you could do something like that. But obviously, if you do that, that's potentially going to affect how fast it runs. So, also, let's see. So then let's go ahead and go back to to-sum real quick. We'll knock that out, and then, like I said, this will probably be a fairly short video today. I probably actually need to, now that I'm like getting relatively decent, there's a handful of easies that are still like throwing me for a loop, but maybe I need to start kind of taking on a couple of mediums, maybe. That being said, so to-sum, there it is. So to-sum, what it wanted you to do was, given an array of integers, nums, and an integer, return the indices of the two numbers that add up to the target number. So, and then here's kind of your example of like 2 plus 7 equals to 9, which is the target. So 0 and 1 are the correct indexes. And then, so the way that I did it is I just iterated through, starting at m equals 1, and then I kind of iterated through that. I value didn't have any condition there because of the way it worked is it promised that there was going to be one solution for each input. So that meant that I didn't have to worry about this being a certain size. If it did, though, then I would have to account for that. But since it guaranteed a solution, I didn't have to worry about it. And so I did mfind target minus nums I, which is something that I actually picked up from the discussion. I think my initial solution was different. Yeah, this isn't my initial solution. So this is like a faster version that I found and that someone did that was very like interesting how they went about it. So And then because what they did is they did like so push underscore back, and they did the target minus the noms, and if target minus noms equaled out, then it's like, yes, this is what we want. There you go. Boop, boop. There you go. Otherwise it didn't do it. Let's see. My actual first solution was pretty bad, because obviously you can see this is my first solution. That was very slow. It actually had the best memory, or it had a betterish memory, but like, I don't think memory is worth being like 600% worse by comparison. So, and then that was just a basic, obviously basic solution where essentially I checked for num I plus num j equals target, and I doesn't equal j, because it said one of the conditions was I cannot equal j, or the index can't be itself, if that makes sense. So like, say for example, you had 5 in the 0 index, and then you had 10 as the target value, then you couldn't do 0, 0 as your 2 indices that you returned. So, and that's how I counted for that. And then I just said return vector int that. And then if there isn't a solution, then I just return 0, which obviously they said like, hey, you don't have to worry about. Or actually, I remember why I did that. I did that because it said there's not a return type in every possibility of this code, so, or something along those lines. So that's why I had to do that. But those were the 2 leak codes that I did. I need to try, and I'm going to try to get back on track on doing those some more again. Maybe do. In fact, you know what? Yeah, let's do that, because I think I was getting tired of strictly doing the back end to the. I don't even know if I still have it open. Oh, yeah, but it will sort of do. It's not even. But yeah, so what we'll do maybe is make like a prettier version of the GUI, make a button of sorts, maybe change these a little bit. I don't know, that may be fine. Who knows? We'll see. Change up that, make that look prettier, that sort of thing. So. But yeah, so that's maybe the goal. We'll see how all that goes. But until next time, I will see y'all. Peace.